When we talk about winning life, the very first principle that must be understood is presence, the ability to live fully in the moment. This sounds simple, almost too simple, yet it is the one thing most people fail to practice. We live in a constant tension between memory and imagination. Our minds are either rehearsing the past or anticipating the future, but rarely are they settled in the now. And yet, the only place where life actually unfolds is here, in this moment. The past has already dissolved into memory, the future has not yet been born. What you truly possess, what you can truly act upon, is only the present. The tragedy is that many people sacrifice their lives to a someday that never arrives. They say, I will be happy when I get that job. I will feel fulfilled when I achieve that dream. I will finally rest when all my problems are solved. But life does not work like that. The conditions of existence are never perfect. There will always be something missing, always another challenge, always another obstacle. If your happiness is postponed to a future moment, then happiness will forever remain out of reach. The only doorway to joy, to peace, to meaning is to enter fully into the present. Think about it, every great decision, every transformation, every opportunity arises not in the past or future, but in the now. If you miss this moment, you miss your chance to live. When you are truly present, the smallest things take on a new quality. A conversation becomes deeper, a walk feels more alive. Even ordinary tasks gain significance because you are not distracted by yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's anxieties. Presence is not passive. It is the sharpest form of attention, the clearest form of engagement. Psychologists often describe the mind as a restless monkey, always jumping from one branch to another. Training presence is like teaching that monkey to sit still. It requires patience, discipline, and awareness. The more you practice returning to the now, the more powerful your life becomes. Why? Because the present is the only place where change can occur. You cannot rewrite your past, and you cannot live in a future that does not yet exist. You can only act now. So I ask you, how much of your life have you already lost by being absent? How many opportunities have slipped by because your eyes were fixed somewhere else? The secret is not to wait for the perfect moment. The secret is to realize that this moment right here is already perfect. If presence is the foundation, then discipline is the structure that rises upon it. Too many people rely on motivation as if it were the fuel of achievement, but motivation is fragile. It comes and goes, it shifts with mood, it weakens under pressure. Motivation is like a spark. It can ignite something, but it cannot sustain the fire for long. Discipline, however, is the steady flame that endures through darkness, fatigue, and doubt. Discipline is what turns intention into reality. Think of any skill, any mastery, any great accomplishment. Behind it is not simply inspiration but repetition, daily, unglamorous, often uncomfortable repetition. The athlete who trains before the sun rises is not carried by excitement every morning. The artist who sharpens their craft is not always in the mood to create. The student who persists through study is not always thrilled to learn. What carries them is discipline, the inner decision to act regardless of emotional state. And this is where most people stumble. They wait to feel ready before they act, not realizing that readiness is the result of action, not the precondition. There is a deep psychological truth here. Our brains crave comfort and resist effort. Left unchecked, the mind will always seek the path of least resistance. Discipline interrupts this pattern. It is the conscious act of saying, I will not be ruled by what I feel in the moment. I will be guided by what I value in the long run. In that sense, discipline is freedom. It frees you from being enslaved by mood swings, by laziness, by fear. It aligns your actions with your highest principles rather than your passing emotions. Philosophers throughout history have understood this. The Stoics taught that the good life comes not from chasing pleasure, but from training the will. Monks across traditions commit themselves to routines that are not easy, but are essential to strengthening the mind. What they all discovered is that discipline is not a burden. It is liberation. It is the path to self-respect, because when you keep the promises you make to yourself, you begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, nothing outside of you can shake your stability. Ask yourself this: will you allow your life to be dictated by how you feel in fleeting moments, or will you choose the strength of discipline? Motivation may start your journey, but only discipline will carry you to the finish. Remember this: discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-love. It is the daily decision to honor your future by acting with courage today. If discipline teaches us to master ourselves, then the next challenge is to free ourselves from the grip of others. One of the greatest obstacles to living a fulfilled life is the constant noise of external opinions. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek approval, first from parents, then teachers, later from friends, colleagues, and society at large. Without even noticing, many people construct their entire existence as a performance for others, adjusting their choices, their behaviors, even their dreams to fit expectations. But here lies the danger. When you live to satisfy the world, you lose touch with your own inner compass. It is important to recognize that approval is addictive. A compliment, a like, a word of recognition, they can feel rewarding, but they train the mind to depend on validation. Slowly, your worth becomes tied not to who you are, but to how others respond to you. This is a fragile way to live, because opinions are unstable, inconsistent, and often driven by the insecurities of those who give them. If you allow the voices of others to dictate your path, you will spend your life chasing a horizon that forever moves further away. Philosophically, this is a question of identity. Who are you when no one is watching? What values do you hold when no one is applauding? The person who learns to detach from the noise is the person who rediscovers authenticity. Silence the crowd long enough and you begin to hear a deeper voice, the voice of clarity, intuition, purpose. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are no longer tossed by every opinion like a ship without anchor. You become steady, guided from within. Psychologically, detachment creates resilience. Criticism no longer destroys you and praise no longer intoxicates you. You become less reactive, more centered. You are free to take risks, to fail, to stand apart, because your value is not measured by public approval. History's most impactful figures were rarely those who fit neatly into society's mold. They dared to step outside, to think differently, to withstand disapproval. And because of that, they left behind legacies that still inspire us today. So I ask you, whose voice is shaping your life right now? Are you guided by your own conviction, or are you imprisoned by the shifting judgments of others? Winning life requires the courage to detach from the noise, to choose authenticity over applause. Remember this, freedom is not given by the world, it begins the moment you stop asking for permission to be yourself. Life by its very nature is woven with moments of struggle. Pain visits all of us, sometimes as loss, sometimes as failure, sometimes as betrayal or disappointment. And while many see pain as an intruder, as something to avoid or escape, those who truly grow begin to recognize it as a hidden ally. Pain is a teacher, though it often speaks in a language we would rather not hear. The question is not whether pain will come into your life, but whether you will allow it to break you or to shape you. Think for a moment about the way nature works. The seed must crack before the plant can emerge. The caterpillar must dissolve in the cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. Pressure, difficulty, discomfort. These are not punishments, they are conditions of transformation. And the same applies to us. Every challenge you endure is carving out a stronger, wiser version of yourself, if you have the courage to face it rather than flee from it. Psychologically, pain reveals what comfort hides. When everything is easy, we drift into complacency, we take life for granted. But when hardship strikes, it strips away illusions. It forces us to confront what truly matters, to examine our inner strength, to refine our priorities. Many of the greatest breakthroughs in human life are born from moments of deep struggle, because it is there, in the crucible of discomfort, that resilience is forged. Philosophically, pain also connects us to something larger than ourselves. When we suffer, we are reminded of the shared fragility of the human condition. That recognition can give rise to compassion, to humility, to the understanding that our struggles are not a curse, but part of a universal rhythm. You are not singled out by pain. You are being invited into the common journey of growth that all beings must walk. The critical shift is this: instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single change in perspective turns pain from an enemy into a mentor. You stop resisting it, and you start learning from it. And the moment you learn, the pain has already begun to transform into power. So do not curse your hardships, do not hide from your wounds. They are not signs of weakness, they are signs of life shaping you for something greater. Remember this, your deepest pain can become the source of your greatest strength, if you choose to rise from it rather than run from it. No matter how strong your discipline may be, no matter how much pain you have turned into power, your environment will always play a decisive role in shaping who you become. Human beings are not isolated islands. We are deeply influenced by the people we spend time with, the conversations we allow into our ears, the energies we surround ourselves with. Whether you realize it or not, your circle is either lifting you upward or pulling you downward. It is either feeding your growth or quietly draining your potential. Think of it like this: a seed can only grow according to the quality of the soil it is planted in. Even the strongest seed cannot thrive in poisoned ground. In the same way, no matter how much talent or drive you carry within yourself, if you are surrounded by negativity, by doubt, by small-mindedness, you will struggle to grow. On the other hand, when you place yourself among those who encourage you, challenge you, and push you to rise higher, you discover strengths you didn't even know you had. Psychologically, this is explained by the principle of social conditioning. We absorb the habits, beliefs, and emotional states of those around us, often unconsciously. If your friends complain constantly, you will begin to complain without even noticing. If your colleagues always settle for less, you will find yourself lowering your standards. But if you are in the presence of people who pursue excellence, who live with discipline, who refuse to surrender to mediocrity, you will be pulled into their rhythm of growth. This is why guarding your circle is not a matter of pride. It is a matter of survival for your destiny. Philosophically, the company you keep reflects the values you choose to honor. By staying close to those who embody wisdom, integrity, and resilience, you affirm those qualities in yourself. But by tolerating relationships that are toxic, draining, or shallow, you silently permit yourself to become the same. Choosing your circle is, in truth, choosing your future. So ask yourself with honesty, who is shaping your life right now? Who is speaking into your mind, planting seeds into your heart, influencing the way you see yourself? The answer may explain why you are where you are today. Do not be afraid to step away from those who hold you back, even if it feels uncomfortable. Protect your mind as you would protect your most valuable treasure, because it is. Remember this: the people you walk with today are building the person you will become tomorrow. Choose your circle as if your life depends on it, because it does. If you look at the deepest human longing, beyond success, beyond comfort, even beyond survival, you will find the need for meaning. And meaning is never discovered by turning inward alone. It is revealed when your life touches the lives of others. You can win wealth, you can achieve recognition, you can climb to heights that few ever reach. But if it all serves only yourself, there will remain a silent emptiness within you. Fulfillment does not come from accumulation. It comes from contribution. When you shift your focus from what can I gain to what can I give, the entire orientation of your life changes. Acts of service, whether grand or small, create a ripple that extends far beyond what you can see. A word of encouragement can alter someone's path. A single act of kindness can restore hope in a heart that was breaking. A life dedicated to service becomes a mirror, reflecting light into places of darkness. And what is most profound is that in giving, you receive more than you could ever have taken. You receive connection, purpose, and the quiet dignity of knowing that your life has made a difference. Psychologically, service lifts us beyond the narrow boundaries of ego. The self is fragile when it is isolated, constantly comparing, constantly competing. But when you serve, you step into a larger frame of existence. You see yourself as part of something greater, and that shift dissolves much of the fear and dissatisfaction that plague the human mind. Instead of asking, am I enough? You begin to ask, how can I be of use? And in answering that question, you find strength you did not know you had. Philosophically,